Today's video, we're going to talk about Facebook Marketplace ads and how they are extremely profitable in several categories that I'm going to share with you here today. Those categories are general labor services, also used items or flawed items that you could sell, returned items you could sell on Facebook Marketplace. You can have a great business going for yourself if you're just looking for something that you can start on your own, not have a bunch of employees selling stuff on this marketplace. And obviously you could post stuff on Marketplace, but the magic is in the Marketplace ads where you could boost the posts, which is what you're going to do to take on this method that makes a ton of money on Facebook. I'll give you the nuts and bolts of how to do this on today's video. Of course, I'll also talk about how and why this actually works so well, so you have everything you need after this video to take off and make some great money on Facebook Marketplace. That said, with Facebook Marketplace, you can actually manage to sell hundreds of items at any given time with what they call Commerce Manager, which is a new thing that Facebook has come out with. It allows you to list tons of items. If you have a lot of inventory, you can list them all, and then you can get them on Marketplace rather easily in a bulk upload type format. From in that, you can actually choose to have the traffic when they want to check out, go to a Facebook shop, which I highly recommend you do, or just straight out that you should do to sell on Facebook Marketplace. So you use Commerce Manager to upload your items, use Facebook Shop to take your orders. And with Facebook Shop, all you got to do, the great thing about it is you post one item on the Facebook Marketplace, people then find all the rest of your items on your shop. So you find yourself a little niche. Maybe you're going to resell reject makeup products or returned makeup products that you get from an e-commerce seller. Somebody who's in the market and would be interested in one item you could cross-sell them on all the other items in your shop. Maybe you're selling fruit trees. Same kind of deal. So you actually should find a micro niche like that. That's where the riches are made. Riches are in the niches, as they call it. And you're going to list items there on the Facebook Marketplace really to drive traffic at your Facebook shop. Excuse me, apologize, a little bit sick today. So the key of all this is to still look like though you are a small local provider who offers deals to your audience and can get products or services at a discount or have them at a discount available for your local community. The one biggest complaint that I've seen from other people about Facebook Marketplace nowadays is that the ads that you can run there are ruining the place because it's kind of like the eBay thing. On eBay, it used to be just individual people that were selling used items. And then the people came in and were trying to sell new items, and then they were trying to bulk upload items that they never intended to sell to try to drive traffic at their stores, which kind of I am advocating to you here. But they don't like to see big commercial sellers selling there. Just like on Craigslist. People on Craigslist don't want to see big companies listing all their stuff. So what you do is you still pretend like you're a small guy even if you're not, and you might be making $100,000 a month or $200,000 a month, which I've seen people easily do this on the marketplace if you do it right like I'm telling you here. But you're still going to look like you're just a little individual nobody, if you will, when you're selling. So that the reason why people are there and the type of people that they want to see, you look like that. You're fitting in to the mold, basically. So, and the way that you do that, of course, is you don't sell stuff that's new there. That's not what it's for. The platform is there for people to come get a deal. What you're going to do is sell things that you can get at a deal or are a deal, because that's what sells, that's what's going to work there. The fact that you're pushing it with ads does not matter. The item is going to dictate, and what you're selling is going to dictate if that person views you as something that they like seeing versus they don't like seeing, and the difference between making money and not making money. So instead of trying to sell and make a business that are selling new items, if you were trying to make a living off of Facebook Marketplace, find items that look like everything that's there, which are used items or discounted items, seemingly come from an individual, like mom and pop. Mom and pop is not even the right word. Cottage industry, if you will, seller. And the two categories of services / products that I've seen personally work great to make a business from selling and exclusively using Facebook Marketplace is, first of all, in the service category, you resell labor. So for individual specialized services. So we're talking about like roof repair, lawn cutting, chimney sweeps, one-off type of jobs that people can buy from you. So we're not selling, you're not a hired gun that will do anything, but you're also not roofing services, where that's not why people go to the Facebook Marketplace. But what people do go there a lot, if you did not know, is they will go to the marketplace, and if they need a chimney sweep, for instance, and they want to save money, they will go to Facebook Marketplace. It used to be Craigslist. Craigslist is not as popular as Facebook Marketplace is anymore, for the most part, especially for stuff like this. So you go there and you post chimney sweep, $125, and you drive them to your Facebook shop to check out, and you make it so easy for them to get that. And that's what you do. Now, you do have to be priced under what the guys selling through Google Ads are selling for. What we found is if you could sell for about 60% of the average price of the guys selling through Google Ads, you can make a good business out of this. So how do you, though, get the price for so cheap? Well, you're not going to go through the traditional methods, which is to run a big-ass business, and you have to, follow all these hiring laws and all this other stuff. You get scrappy. You get creative. You go find another guy even on Facebook Marketplace, the cheapest possible guy, and you work with them and you say, hey, look, I want to resell your services. Are you fine with that? Then you take his product, or service technically, and you mark his service up by 20%. That's basically all you need to have a good enough margin to pay for the ads that you're going to use to sponsor your listing and make sure it gets seen more than his. That's your value add. He doesn't understand the value of sponsoring and boosting the posts that he has. Most people don't know about this. So a lot of these one-off type jobs because face it, for a big roof repair, you're probably not going to look on Facebook Marketplace for that. That's a place where you're going to, if your roof screwed up, you can lose your ass by hiring the wrong person. To get a roof leak repair done, for the most part, even if it's screwed up, it can always easily be refixed. So that's a great service to put together a package service for. You could charge a flat rate. Another one would be drywall repair, fixing holes in drywall. Could be lawn cutting. A lot of people that buy lawn cutting services don't want to hire a company for ongoing service. They want to have a one-off. And so they'll go to Facebook Marketplace for this. So obviously you could do all kinds of things. You could have a Facebook shop that has, roof leak repair and then lawn cutting. I don't really recommend that, so to say. I recommend you pick one niche and just try to dominate it. If you're going to do chimney sweeps, try to do, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 different packages of chimney sweeps with different price levels. So of the service, what's the bare bones version? What's a little bit better than that? What's a little bit better than that? What's a little bit better than that? So that every person is going to be able to have one that's going to work for them. That's what I would personally do. And then if you're going to do another service, because you're making money on that already, which you should be doing, because this stuff really works nowadays, you do another Facebook shop for the lawn cutting. And then you have several options for the lawn cutting, which is what I've seen somebody else specifically doing, having multiple of these shops going like this. So that you actually have a mini brand, if you will, in that space within Facebook Marketplace in your local market. And of course, if you were really smart, once this works, you would do the same thing in other markets and you would outsource the work there and then scale up like that. So, but generally, you know, all you need is about a 20% markup and you're good because your costs are not much. Because if somebody buys, you're going to text the guy the address that actually does the work, where to go. And because it's not a big job, you don't have to like monitor anything. You just got to text the customer when they're done and say, is it okay? Do you have any questions? If they say no, you pay the guy that you outsourced it to and you're done. You know, once in a while, by the way, if you're doing it the way that I'm saying, the person that shows up is going to try to go direct to that customer and try to cut you out. But for the most part, it's like Home Depot. Home Depot has where they refer contractors to you if you want to get certain things done, like a window replaced, driveway resurfaced, whatever. The person could go direct to the customer when they arrive, but they're so worried of not getting any more leads through Home Depot that they're not going to fuck Home Depot over for a little bit more money one time or a few times. So they'll just keep playing ball. And that's the way that you got to be able to make them, you got to make your person you're outsourcing it to understand that. Hey, I could send 3, 4, 5 jobs a week to you. All I ask is do a good job and I'll pay you as soon as the job is done and the client says that, you know, they're fine and happy with it. And they shouldn't have a problem. Now, eventually, you'll certainly probably have to find a new vendor, but, you know, that's part of the game. So that's kind of formula number 1 to make money with the Facebook Marketplace. You sell these pre-packaged one-off type services and you do it for, you know, 1 store per service, and then you maybe expand it other markets. As far as that goes, in order to fully extract as many sales from the marketplace as you can, once you list your item or items on the Facebook Marketplace, you can boost the post of the items you're getting for the most sales. So if you have 3 or 4 items, you post 3 or 4, whatever is getting the most sales, you're going to boost that one. That's the one you want to routinely show up. So if you had 4 lawn cutting packages, of the 4 that naturally are going to show up in the marketplace, whatever one gets the most sales, that's the one you're going to boost over and over again. And so you'll just boost the post, then you'll see how much more sales you get. The more sales you get, the more you can afford to boost it. And you're just going to keep boosting it as long as you get the level of sales that you need. If you already know you're making 20% markup on every sale, obviously as long as you're not spending more than 20% in terms of the ad cost to boost the post, you're good. For the most part, if I'm going to do this and have a 20% markup, I'm going to boost the post as much as I can where I'm not spending more than 10% of the cost of the service boosting it. But you'll be surprised, in a lot of these situations, you'll be able to spend 3, 4, 5% of the cost of the service in terms of the boosting cost. It depends on the service and the saturation level in that niche. There's a lot of these services like drywall repair, by the way. In a lot of local markets, there's only 3-4 guys that specialize in that. There's a lot of drywall companies that do it technically, but actual specialists that seem like it's really, it's attractive because they specialize in it. There's not that many. And of those people, maybe nobody is even on Facebook Marketplace in your city. So if you do that, you're the only guy there. Therefore, you don't have much price pressure. And all the people, like I said, because the main key thing about this that makes the money is there's certain people that need the drywall fixed. They're a little bit of a budget. They don't have quite as much money to just go and hire the #1 guy off of Google. They go to the Facebook Marketplace. They might actually check Craigslist too. And they try to see if there's drywall service repair available in the marketplace. You're the only guy, you get the sale almost every time. So, and then boosting the post will guarantee it's at the very top when they search for it. So you're basically, it's like another search engine. That's the key thing to get into your mind here. Facebook Marketplace is like Google in terms of the search. It's like a search engine in and itself. People go there to find stuff that they can't find on Google that's a little bit cheaper. And they assume it's cheaper because it's a local guy who doesn't have a big operation, and then can sell their stuff for, half the price of what the guys with the big operation could sell. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're fitting in, you're providing that low cost option, and you're doing it in a professional way still. A way that is simple for the consumer to buy because they know exactly what you're charging. It's unlike Google where you got to call and talk to them and tell them everything about what your situation is. You could literally just have a thing, drywall repair, $120, click to buy now. Boom, you get the money, that's it. Anyway, so that's one major way to go about doing a lot of business and make a lot of money through Facebook Marketplace. And just by the way, to boost the post, it's really easy. The Facebook post, right on the post itself, it says boost post. And that's all you got to do to boost it. And it asks you how much you want to spend. All you got to do is watch your sales, divide your sales by the amount that you're spending boosting the post. And as long as that ratio, in other words, your ROI is over a certain level, you're making at least $5 in sales to every $1 in revenue. You're in business if you've marked up the cost of the service where you're getting it from by 5x. So anyway, that's one great way to make money with Facebook Marketplace. You can make quite a bit more money if you go this second option, which is you could sell used items on Facebook Marketplace. Which, when I say used items, you can literally go to Amazon nowadays and buy a package of returned items. What I specifically, though, recommend you do is go to different sellers, bigger e-commerce stores, and email them and say, I want to buy your returns from you. Because sometimes people resell the returns. That's certainly the case. But for like makeup and stuff like that, a lot of times they don't resell returns. And so what you can do is pick up all the returns. You can buy a lot of 500 returns of all the items that they sell. And it'll be like a mixed bag. So they sell 100 items. It'll be a mixture of 100. But it doesn't matter if you get one of this and 50 of this. It doesn't matter because you're going to just end up flipping all this stuff on Facebook Marketplace. That's one way to get an item for like half price that you normally to get an item for that cheap, you would have to go buy bulk from China or manufacture it yourself or whatnot. What you can also do is there's places to buy factory defect items as well, which you can be straight up with people on Facebook that this is a factory defect item that I bought. You don't put out there that you're there to sell factory defect items, because now you're starting to look like a merchant. And this pisses people off. People are supposed to be buying from people here, not professional merchants. So you could say, because I don't know if you're aware, The Gap, I believe it was The Gap, The reason why they could sell items for so cheap is because they're fat. Or no, sorry, it wasn't the Gap. Well, where was it again? Gordman's. That's the one. Gordman's actually, the reason why they could sell cheaper goods was because they are selling factory defects. So they're getting items from other retailers and then selling them, but they're not advertising that they're rejects out at front. You could tell people that they are factory rejects, but you don't have to either. Gordman's doesn't do that. You could get the factory defects from different manufacturers. You message them and you ask, how can I buy your factory defects? And you could just strictly sell those through Facebook Marketplace. So whether you're going to sell returned items, factory defect items, both of them are a cash cow because you could list them one by one on Facebook Marketplace until you sell out of them. And because you're going to get them for half price, you could probably mark them up 20%, like the services, and people will buy because you're still 70% the cost of the full value of the item, and the item's basically not used still. So they're basically getting a new item for 30% off. And that 30% off, as long as it's a really in-demand item like a phone or what, anything that has, it's a hot commodity, so to say. A 30% off of an item that's normally full price, that's already enough to get plenty of sales as is just from that alone. In certain other markets, to get people excited about buying, you might have to be half off. But if that's the case, why not just sell something else? Pick something that's, look through the Facebook Marketplace. Try to see, and particularly in other markets, like what's selling well or what seems like it's selling well because there's a lot of listings for it. And then that's the one that you want to go out and try to find factory defects or returns and get those and sell those. And try to sell them for 70% the full price value, selling it as new. You're getting a new item at 70% off or at 30% off. And you trying to get it at half the cost of the new cost, in other words. So you're getting it at half the retail, you're going to sell it at 70% the retail. And that, if you could find items with that kind of numbers where you can get it 50% off because it's factory reject or it's a bulk return items, and you can sell it for 70% of retail for a lot of different categories, electronics being one of the main ones that I've seen specifically someone use and that it worked really well. But it can be makeup, which I've also seen myself as well, or other cosmetic items, we'll just say. It could certainly be food items, certainly, depending on if it's mainly non-perishable. You could, as just an off-the-wall example, Jimmy John's every day would sell their bread at the end of the day for like half price on all the bread. If you bought it, if you go into the Jimmy John's, which is a sandwich shop, they would sell all their bread for half off at 5 p.m. So you could go in there and buy loaves of bread and get it half off. Well, not to say I would sell that per se, but there's a lot of places they'll give you fire discount on food items because it's getting near the time where they have to, it's where they have to start getting rid of it. So you could go in there and say, hey, I'll come and buy your near expired items for half off, and you could just list them on the Facebook Marketplace at 70% the full cost, and for that matter, you have a workable business. So anyway, it could be a number of different things, but factory defect, return items, or a lot of people flip items on Amazon and eBay that are clearance as well, going into like Walmart or whatever, and they buy up the clearance items, which is another way to make this work, which is not quite as scalable, so I don't like it. So it technically also could be clearance items, and kind of technically tied to clearance is near expired. But you could buy these things, throw them up there, see what sticks. The ones that stick well, boost those posts. Don't boost any of the rest of them. You know, you could throw up 50 items, find out 2 work really well, boost the hell out of those. For the other ones, you know, they take a while to sell, but you just don't get any more. And then through you know, what you're going to find through the process is you're going to test 50 items. 2 are going to be extremely well selling. And then you're going to go and re-up on those 2 types of items. And the other items, you're just going to sell them at a loss because you're at some price you'll be able to sell them. Maybe you lose a little bit of money just getting rid of them. But the 2, because you've tested, you've learned that those work really well, you'll be able to sell another few hundred of those items and really cash out on those 2. And then of the money you make, you could try to do another 50 items, and then 2 of those will be a winner, and then you just keep going. So you just don't, naturally you just list them. If there's a lot of demand for that item, you'll find out that there's sales without boosting it. So you'll be able to find out for free. Of course, you have to invest in the cost of the items to see if it'll sell, which, by the way, if you wanted to really try this out and have it cost no money, you could go list items on this marketplace that you don't even have and see if anybody wants to buy it. And if they do want to buy it, you could just say, sorry, we're out of stock. Here's a coupon for when it is back in stock, and then order it. And you really would have to have nothing to test and see what items are going to do well, which is kind of an asshole move, but this is what people do in business, to test markets and see what markets will work before they invest in those markets. They do it with Google Ads, running ads for imaginary products that they could potentially build and create to see if there's demand for it. This is just another form of that. So, but you just have to test a few of these items and just see what is naturally getting searched for, because at the end of the day, this isn't like, for the most part, most of these people on Marketplace that are coming in are not just coming and just randomly scanning through items and see what's available. There is that too, but a good half or more are people coming in with a certain intention to look for a certain item, a lawnmower, speakers for their car, and they're going to search for those. And of that traffic, when you post an item up, you'll be able to see how much traction, how much search demand there is in your local market for that item by just having an item up there. So you won't know what, ultimately there's a lot of search demand for, and that'll sell unless you actually list something. And when you do, then you start boosting it so that you get the most traffic you can from it, and that you're always showing up first or near the top, we'll just say, for that item, so to say. So ultimately, but it all goes back to testing it, seeing how much traction you can get before you boast it. So you then you'll invest your money for sure boosting that item. But even before you get there, looking how many other people sell that item that you're thinking about putting up there. And if there's 15 other people doing it already, just don't do it. If there's 1 or none, then you go, that might be because nobody's buying anything, so nobody's selling any of that. Or it could just be nobody's figured out that there's a bunch of people searching for that already. And if you just put your stuff up, people would start buying it right away. But there's only one way to find out, which is to put some stuff up there in that category to find out if you could sell any items in that category or not. And 2% are going to be a winner. The only way to find out what the 2% are is to throw items up there. Let it see what happens. But anyway, with the items, this is where the commerce manager that Facebook has comes in handy, because you could throw up several hundred items and manage them really, really well and keep the posts on there, manage them well, keep the boosting of the items you want going, and run it like a store, an actual store. So anyway, that's the other main way that you can use Facebook Marketplace ads to make a ton of money. And the stuff that I've seen that's personally working for some of the other people that I know, I'll wrap it up with that. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing, as I have a ton of other PPC related content on this channel, money making strategies and so forth, that we give you from the clients' campaigns that we're actively testing and finding the kind of stuff that works on Google ads, Facebook ads, and so forth. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth. You're not going to, I manage several dozen PPC campaigns in a given time, and therefore, you're not going to find better information that you're going to find on this channel, because I'm giving you the active stuff that's working today, as well as the stuff that doesn't work to stay away from it. So it's not run a PPC agency, and I'm strategizing every single account that we manage, which we got about 50 accounts that we manage at any given time. Most other people are not managing accounts, or they don't manage very many accounts, and therefore they can't give you the same quality of information that we provide here. If you have any questions or comments, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel or question, usually within a couple days' time already. Ask me any PPC related question you like. I'd be happy to try to answer it, or at least point you in the right direction. Beyond that, if you have any, well, we'll just say if you have a Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads campaign that you're running, you can't get it to work. If you can't get it to work, you can reach out to our agency. We actually offer guaranteed results on your PPC campaign. If you're looking for a certain level of profitability from your campaign, we can look into see if we can do that for you. And if we do promise that we can get that for you and do agree to work with you, we will get you that minimum level of results up front without charging any fees up front at all. But we have to certainly know that we can get results on your campaign, which there's only one way to find out, which is to reach out to us and see if we can get the results that you're actually looking for from your PPC campaigns. So we can build campaigns from scratch. If you're making so much money per month, you want to make more, we'll see if we can make you more than what we charge for fees before we take any fees. And if we can't, we'll let you know that up front. So that basically what you have to pay us will just simply come out of the profit you're making in addition to what you're making now with your campaign. So you can't go wrong with it. We're the only service out there that offers anything like this in terms of guaranteeing results on Google ads, Facebook campaigns, and so forth. So anyway, you can reach out to us. I'll be happy to speak with you about the opportunity, and probably then from there let you know how much results we can actually get you on your campaign. So guaranteeppc.com. Reach out to me. I'll have a conversation with you about what you're doing. That said, wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you there.